Welcome to the Dice Tower, a series of videos about games and the people who played them. And now, here's your host, Joe Steadman.
Hi, this is Joe Steadman, and today I want to talk about the new Z-Man game, Long Shot. This is the new game by Chris Handy, Z-Man Games. It is by far the best horse racing game I've ever played. It's so much better than that silly Royal Turf game or anything else I played, and it really makes you feel like you're at a horse race. Not that I go to a lot of horse races, but it's yeah, right. It's a 3 to 8 player game, so you can play with a large group. I've played it with all those numbers just about. I played it with 8. It made for a longer game, but it was a lot of fun, and I played with 4. I've not played with 3. The game comes with 10 of these plastic horses, 2 different dice, a really good high quality set of playing cards. Some of the best quality, really thick, good, solid playing cards. Comes with these little cardboard tokens, a nice box insert, paper money, which I absolutely hate, and I'll talk about that in a bit, and a little short rule book. Now, the paper money comes in denominations of 5, 10, and 20, but I got rid of my 5s and 10s, and instead I went to Walmart and I bought a big bunch of this. Look at these, honey. I bought a big box of these plastic gold coins.
Aren't they Pirates Gold?
They're Pirates Gold, but I use them for horse racing too. And each of these coins will equal $5, and I'll show you how that works later. Let me just put some over here. All right. The board itself is good, high quality hard board. It's got on here quick reminders for the players what they can do on their turn, and it's just a basic horse track. The spaces are divided up with little dotted lines, meaning that horse 1 will move a whole bunch to get around the course, and horse 10 will move farther, but it's the same amount of spaces. They're all divided evenly. And the little dotted lines will show you, like for instance here, horse 1 and horse 10 are tied for first place. And then there's the no bets line. If your horse crosses that, I'll explain that later. All right, and then there's the winner's circle that the horses go to at the end of the game. All right, now how do you play the game? It's everyone on their turn, the very first thing they do is roll these 2 dice. Whatever horse number gets rolled, that's horse number 4, and it'll tell you how far the horse can move, 1 spot. The die is special. It's got all 1s on it, a 3, and a 0. If you roll a 1, he goes 1, the 3 is 3. If you roll a 0, he doesn't move, and there's a special option that happens in case of a 0. So horse 4 would go 1 spot in my illustration, so boom, I moved that horse 1 spot. Then it goes to the action phase. There's 3 options on the action phase. Option 1, you can play a card from your hand. Everyone's going to have some of these special cards in your hand, and the cards allow you to break rules, collect money, just different various. There's a whole slew of things that you can do. They're all self-explanatory. That's option 1. Option 2, you can buy a horse. So let's say I want to buy horse number 1. I want you to zoom in on this card. All right, horse 1. He's going to cost $20 if I want to buy him. So I pay the bank $20, but then I can put this card in front of me. On the card, the owner of this horse has a special action that happens. Like this one says, if this horse is in first place at the beginning of your turn, I can draw an extra card from my hand, which is kind of neat. Then it's got the odds for the horse winning the race down here on the bottom, 6 to 1, 4 to 1, and 2 to 1, and that comes in at the end of the game when it pays out the money. And then it's got these little dots, 2, 4, 6, 7. What that means is that if it's your turn and this horse, and you roll, he's a 1. So if I roll a 1, he's going to move. But because I own him, if I roll a 1 because it's him, or a 2, or a 4, or a 6, or a 7, he will also move. And the more dots, the faster, the more times he's going to move, which usually means that the odds are going to be lower, that the odds are not going to pay out as well. He's not a long shot. He's a better horse. Whereas like this horse here, he's only got 2 dots on here, so he won't move as much, and so his odds to win are 9 to 1. All right. The last thing that you can do is you can place a bet. You can place bets in increments of $5. I use these coins, so I can place a bet on my own horse like this by simply taking $5 from my coin stash and putting it on the card. That means I've got $5 on that horse. Or if I want to bet on someone else's horse or an unowned horse, I take one of these cardboard tokens. If you zoom in there, Monica, take one of these cardboard tokens and I stick it on the side here, and I put my coin on top of it, just like that. You have as much money as you want on a horse. It's just you do $5 at a time. That's all you can do on your turn. So the game keeps going around in circles and circles, until finally a horse crosses the finish line. And then the second place, and then the third place. A couple things on the board to note are the no bet section. Once a horse crosses the no bet section, no one can put bets on that horse anymore, including the owner of the horse, and so it's locked in. Now there's special cards that might allow you to put bets on him anyway, or there's cards that may move a horse back a spot if he crosses back over the spot, and then you can put bets on him. And once the first 3 horses have finished, if you look over here at the winner circle, that's the game ends. The owner of each horse will then collect either 100, a 75, or a 50. And that money, I keep the 20s because that's just too many gold coins, so I'll use the 20s. That's their initial pot of money. And then we go to the odds phase. So then we look at who bet on horse 1. Well, let's say I bet on horse 1. I put $5 on horse 1. And the odds for horse 1, if you look at the card, is 6 to 1. So horse 1 won at 6 to 1 odds. 5 times 6, 30. So I get 25 more dollars in coins for a total of 30. And then I add that to my pot. And then you do that for second place and for third place. You count up all the money and you see who won. It's simple as that. The game leads itself to a lot of table talk, a lot of cheering for a horse to get rolled. People will play cards on each other to try to slow horses down. One thing I forgot to mention is each player gets a reroll token. And the way the rules say it is that you can play this reroll token anytime during a game on your own turn to reroll one of your 2 die. You can reroll the horse number or the actual number of spaces moved. I kind of added a house rule because I like more confrontation, and I say that you can play this at any time, including on someone else's turn, which I think adds more strategy. But that's a house rule. The other thing I said I'd mention was that the 0. If you roll a 0 for your horse, if it's someone else's horse that you roll and it's a 0, you get to draw a card out of their hand for your hand. If it's an unowned horse, you get to draw a card out of the bank. Out of the pot. Out of the draw pile for your hand. And if it's your own horse, the rules say that you basically don't do anything. But I added another house rule because I thought that was kind of bad. That if you roll your own horse and you roll a 0, then you can also draw a card from the draw pile. That is it. I like the game a lot. I think it's going to be one of our favorite party games of the future, as long as a person in the group doesn't have a problem with horse racing, because it does really feel like horse racing. I have no complaints about the game. I've already played it quite a bit. I know Monica likes it. And so if you get a chance to pick up a copy from Z-Man Games, I would recommend it definitely for a fun, light party game about horse racing. Thank you. One other thing about the game I'll mention is if I had to complain about something, I would say that the horses, I hate this little sticker thing. I just feel that with a lot of gameplay, these stickers are going to come off. The Z-Man, they did include a whole complete extra set of stickers, so they must be anticipating that. But I wish they would have went the extra mile and just molded the plastic according to the color of the horse. That would have been neater, kind of like the Knizia game. But I'll probably get out my model, my paints, and I'm a miniatures player, and I'll probably just end up painting my horses anyway, because definitely I think this game is going to get a lot of play. All right?
Thanks for joining us today. For more written, audio, and video reviews, as well as the #1 board game podcast, check out the website at www.thedicetower.com. Until then, this is Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.